Hi there, I'm Amanda Castor with Material Girl Quilts. Today I'm here to share how to make this cute maple leaf fall table topper. I made this version here a few years ago and I want to make another one that has a little more color in it. But the blocks on this table topper are a maple leaf block and they finish at 12 inches square. And it's just such a cute little table topper to add for your fall decor. So why don't we get started on how to make the maple leaf block. For each block you will need 2 5-inch squares of your maple leaf fabric, 3 4.5-inch squares, and 1 1.5-inch by 7-inch rectangle. And then for the background fabric you will need 2 5-inch squares and 2 4.5-inch squares. So the first thing we're going to do is take one each of the 5-inch squares, the maple leaf and the background fabric, and we'll place them right sides together to make our half square triangles. So what we'll do is, once they're right sides together, on the back side of one of your squares, draw a line across one diagonal, and then you will sew 1/4 of an inch on either side of that drawn line, like I've done here. And once you've done that, you will then cut directly on the drawn line to create your half square triangles. So you will repeat this with both of your 5-inch squares to create a total of 4 half square triangles that you will then trim down to 4.5 inches square. Now the next step for this block is you will select one of your background 4.5-inch squares and you will cut along the diagonal to create 2 triangles. And once that's complete, you will take your 1.5-inch by 7-inch rectangle and place right sides together. You're going to center this triangle on the rectangle like so. And you will then sew 1/4 of an inch seam here along this edge. But again, you'll center it across the rectangle. And you'll press it open towards the triangle. And here is an example from another fabric that I'm using in this new table topper, where we've already sewn one of the triangles on and pressed it open. And now we need to sew the other triangle on. And as you'll see, you center it up on the rectangle and make it match the other triangle that you've pieced, and then again you press it open like so. You're going to need to trim this down to be a 4.5-inch square. Now the best way to get this so that your stem for your maple leaf is centered, I find that if you will fold your rectangle in half and just finger press here, turn so you can see. So you fold your rectangle, line it up, and finger press here so that you have a line for the center. Then when you want to trim this to be 4.5 inches square, you use that center line to make sure that you're center. And when I square up my half square triangles, I really love this block ruler. And this 4.5-inch size is perfect for this project, but it's also perfect for trimming up these blocks, because we can line this line in the center right up with the line we just finger pressed to make sure that we are center here, and then trim it up. So again, this trims to 4.5 inches square. If I had my rotary mat out, that would have been helpful. Oh, little piece here. Okay, so that is what your stem piece will look like. So I'm going to get all of my pieces together and pressed and ready, and I'll show you how to put the block together. Okay, now that we have all of our half square triangles pieced as well as our stem section, it's time to put this block together. So you will lay out all your 4 half square triangles and your 3 leaf squares, your 1 background square, and your stem piece as shown. And then you're going to sew this into 3 different rows and sew the rows together. So this top section will be row 1, this is the middle row, and this is row 3. And I will show you with this other fabric how I've already pieced these rows how you're going to press those. So for this first row here, I have pressed towards the background square. And then the middle row, I pressed towards the leaf fabric. And then this last row here, I pressed again in this direction, so towards the pointed part of the leaf. And if you press in those directions, it will make it so that you can nicely nest your seams as you sew your rows together. So once you sew the rows together, your block will measure 12.5 inches square, and here is a completed block. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up piecing these last 2 blocks, and then we'll get the table topper sewn together. Okay, I now have all 4 of my blocks pieced, and it's time to put the table topper together. So what we'll do is lay them out 2 by 2 into a square, and so you'll sew the 2 blocks into rows and then sew the rows together. Now I prefer this layout where the tops of the leaves all point towards the center, but there are other options for the table topper layout as well that I'll show you here. And if you do the table topper, it finishes at 24 inches square. If you prefer to use a table runner versus a table topper, you can piece your 4 blocks together and create a 12-inch by 48-inch table runner. And here's a few options for that layout. I think you'll agree that this table topper or table runner, if you decide to go that option, would be a great addition to your fall decor. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you make your own maple leaf table topper, I'd love to see it. Please tag me on social media at Material Girl Quilts. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.